Welcome back to Miniature Game Montage and a Flames of War battle report. Today the Americans will match up against the Germans with two armored lists. As always, feel free to let us know about any rules we potentially missed in the comments below. You can support our channel with a simple like on this video and feel free to subscribe for more content. Thanks so much for watching. Today, the Germans will bring a Panzer IV tank company led by two Panzer IV HQs. They will have two platoons of Panzer IV tanks with 4 tanks each, 2 of the Big Cat Tiger tanks, and in formation support, they will have 2 88s and 4 7.5 centimeter Pak 40s, 100 points in total. The Americans will bring a veteran Sherman tank company. In the formation will be 2 Sherman 75s, 2 platoons of 3 Sherman 75s, a platoon of 5 Sherman 76s, and in formation support, a platoon of M7 Priests, 4 3-inch tank destroyers, and 4 M10 tank destroyers. The lucky card will be taken for 100 points. The matchup today will be no retreat, and the Americans will be attacking. 2 objectives have been placed in the German deployment zone, and the American victory condition is to occupy an objective at the end of their turn. The Germans will win if there are no teams within 8 inches of an objective by the end of turn 6. The Germans have deployed with their HQ Panzer unit as well as the 88s and Pak 40s. They have also placed a few minefields around the Allied objective. The Americans were then allowed to deploy, and we are ready for turn 1. Alright, first we're going to see some American Sherman 75s take a move here, being kind of cautious here on the opening turn, just moving at tactical speed and lining up shots at the Panzer IV HQ unit. We are going to see the other group of Sherman 75s activate, and they are going to move up the board at tactical speed as well. And then we will see the 76s move up to the hedge here, and they're going to start taking cross checks. The first one is going to fail. The second one is going to move up, and he is going to pass. The third moves up, and he is going to fail. And then the last two, we are substituting 2 Fireflies here. The last 2 are going to pass and be just fine. So 3 of the 5 Sherman 76s will make it over without an issue. We will then see the M10s move up behind the hedge here, not taking cross checks. Next up, we're going to see the Sherman 75 HQ unit. They are going to wrap around the guns here. And then we're going to see the Priests make a move as well. Probably should have used that last point to bring an Observer in instead of the lucky card, so we'll just have to see how that works out. But the Priests are going to move up to get into a better spotting position. And here's a quick shot of the Americans after the movement step. We then go into shooting, and the 3-inch tank destroyers are going to open up against the Panzer HQ unit. They're going to get 8 shots, and they need 7s. 4s to hit. They are concealed and gone to ground, plus long range. They do get a 6. They re-roll that into another 6, so that will be a 7. And a 5-up is required on the save, and it is made. We'll then see the Sherman 75s, that first unit. They are going to open up onto the HQ unit as well. They will need 8s due to stabilizers on their weapons. They do get 2 6s, rolling those back out for nothing. The next Sherman unit will open up as well. They will also need 8s, hit on 4s, long range, concealed, gone to ground, plus stabilizers. They're going to get nothing there as well. And that is essentially going to bring us to the end of the first American turn. Over for the Germans, there will be no reserves coming in, but the ambush with the 88s is popped, and they are going to line up shots at the 76s. We are going to see a blitz move first by the Panzer IV HQ unit, and they are simply going to move to the road here and try to shoot and scoot here after the shooting step. The 88s are going to eye up those 76s. They're going to shoot at their halted rate of fire, getting 4 shots. They do need 5s due to long range. All of those shots will miss. We'll then see the Pak 40s line up the Sherman 75s, and they will need 6s due to long range concealment. They will get 2 hits here, and those hits are going to be assigned. The first one is going to be failed. A firepower is rolled out. That lead Sherman tank will go up in smoke. The second one is going to be passed due to long range, getting the +1 bonus to the armor. So the lead Sherman goes up in smoke, and that's all that was lost in that firefight. Next, the Panzer IV HQ unit is going to shoot at the same unit of 75s, and they will need 6s due to long range and concealment. Those are going to fail. They are then going to attempt to shoot and scoot and fail, and that is going to bring us to the end of the German turn. End of turn 1 recap. The Americans throwing everything forward, trying to put as much pressure on the Germans as possible. The 88s did pop out for the Germans in ambush, laid down some fire. The Pak-40s were able to score a hit and destroy that lead Sherman 75. Moving over to the Americans for turn 2. And up first for the Americans, we're going to see the Sherman 76s attempt to cross here. They still have 2 that are trying to get over this hedge, and they both fail cross checks. So they're staying bogged down on these hedges. We are going to see the other Sherman 76 just kind of readjust a little bit and move forward, staying in coherency. We are then going to see the M10s move up in a paired cross check. Starting at the top, we get a fail, another fail. We will get a fail again. There will be 1 pass out of these 4, so 1 M10 will make it over, and the one from the rear is going to move up to the hedge here. Over to the Sherman 75s, we're going to see them move up at tactical speed. They are going to look to lay down some fire onto the German positions. We will see the other Sherman 75 unit move at tactical speed as well. And then we're going to see the Sherman HQ unit. They're moving up to the hedge. Attempting to cross here is the HQ, and he is going to fail. And then the 2IC is going to pass. He's going to successfully cross over the hedge here and look to lay down some fire at the 88s. So into the American turn, an overview of the board. Opening up the shooting step, the 76s will target the 88s with their machine guns, the 50 cals in orange, the 30 cals in blue. There will be 12 shots in total from the 3 of these, and it will be on 5s due to concealment. We are going to get numerous hits here. 6 of them are going to hit, and rolling out for the first one, they are going to get a few fails on their 4-up gun saves, and this is going to go to firepower, needing a 5 on the orange 50 cal and a 6 on the 30 cal. That's going to fail on the 30. It is also going to fail on the 60, so nothing happening there. The other 3 saves being taken from the other gun, needing 4-up gun saves. 2 will be failed, and we're looking for 5s on these 30 cal, or I'm sorry, 6s on these 30 cals for firepower. Nothing happening here. Moving over, we're going to see the M10s. He's going to take a shot here with the main cannon, and he needs a 5 as well. He is going to miss. Next up, we're going to see the 2IC. He is going to open up with his machine guns. Again, a 50 cal and a 30 cal, 30 cal in blue. He is going to score a hit with that one, and that hit is going to get assigned, needing 5s again due to concealment. And that is going to roll out for a save and fail. So going to a firepower test, needing a 6, and it does fail. Next up, we will see the 3-inch tank destroyers. They're going to eye down those Panzer tanks, and they are going to need 6s due to long range, and they're going to score a hit here. They are concealed as well. So the 3-inch tank destroyers will get a hit on that lead Panzer there, the HQ, and armor save will be taken, getting +1 for distance. It's going to fail, and going to a firepower, it fails, so we've got a bailed out Panzer IV. Next up, the artillery is going to draw line of sight to the Pak-40s. They are going to attempt to range in, needing 4s due to clipping some terrain here. Trying to range in on the first attempt, it is going to be a fail. Second attempt is also a fail, and they are going to finally get ranged in on their third attempt. No time on target happening here. Needing 6s to hit here for the 2 teams that are under the template. There will not be any successful hits, so they will be ranged in for next turn. Where they're going to see the Sherman 75s open up, 2 from one unit and 1 from the other. We're just going to roll these together. But the machine guns targeting the Pak-40s, they do need 5s due to concealment. They are short range. We are going to get those hits assigned out. And 4-up gun saves will be taken. On the top one, it is passed, and on the other one, 4-up gun save is going to be passed as well. There are 2 more Shermans that are left to fire, and they are taking shots at the Panzer IV unit with their main cannons. They need 6s due to stabilizers, and those shots are going to miss, bringing us to the end of the American turn. And over for the Germans, there will be no remount here from the HQ. He's going to fail that, stay bailed out. We're then going to see these 88s unpinned, so they will be able to act as normal. No reserves coming in for the Germans this turn. The 88s are going to take fire at the Sherman 76s. They're going to shoot at their halted rate of fire, needing 4s due to just a short range shot. They're going to get 2 hits here. First one rolls up and fails the armor save. A firepower test is successful, so that is 1 Sherman down. The next one taking an armor save, and he is going to fail on that 2. Another firepower dice is rolled, 2 Sherman 76s up in smoke to the 88s. We're then going to see the Panzer IV unit. They're going to take aim at the weakened Sherman 75 unit with 2 tanks. They will be firing 2 shots here, needing 5s with concealment. They are going to get a hit. That hit will be assigned to one of those tanks, and we're going to take an armor save here that is going to be passed. The Panzer IVs will attempt a shoot and scoot, which is successful, so the 2IC is going to back up behind the factory, getting out of line of sight here. We'll then move over to the Pack 40s. They're going to target that weakened Sherman 75 unit as well. They need 5s going through concealment, and they are going to get 1 hit here, so an armor save will need to be taken by one of these tanks. Armor save is going to be taken. It's going to be failed on that too. So we go to firepower, and it is good. That is a Sherman 75 going up in smoke to the Pack 40s. And that is going to bring us to the end of the turn. So the Americans pushing up the board, continuing to apply pressure, getting a bit lucky that the Germans have not brought in reinforcements yet. There were 2 Sherman 76s that were blown up by the 88s. There was also a Sherman that was lost to the Pack 40s. But the Americans trying to give some bait down the middle and the right while trying to maneuver the 76s and the M10s around the left. We'll have to see how this strategy pans out moving into the next turn. And that lone Sherman 75 is not in good spirits. He is going to test and flee the battlefield. We are then going to see the 76s attempt to cross-check here. Starting at the top, we have a fail and then a pass at the bottom. So one of those 76s will hop over the hedge here. The other one staying back. Getting very unfortunate on some of these rolls. The other 76 will reposition. Where they're going to see the M10s, and they are going to get a fail, pass from top to bottom. So the bottom 2 M10s will hop over the hedge, and again, one is getting stranded back as he continues to get bogged down while trying to move over. The tanks are positioning themselves to get line of fire to those 88s, and we have moved these in such a way where they could have moved in a different order to end up the way they are. The 2IC is going to hop over the hedge, or I'm sorry, the HQ, the actual commander is going to hop over the hedge, passing that cross-check on a 4. And then we're going to see these 75s. They are going to move up at tactical speed, attempting to get into range of these Pack 40s and into assault range. And in a potential tactical error, the Shermans actually got too close for artillery, so that will need to be called in elsewhere. So that the 2IC calls it in on the 88s, who he does have line of sight to. The Priests are going to try to range in on those 88s. They will need 4s with the terrain, and they're going to range in on the first attempt on this 6, so they will get time on target, having the gun teams re-roll failed saves or successful saves. The first team at the top is hit. The second one is going to be missed, so we assign that out. A 4-up gun save will need to be taken and re-rolled if successful due to time on target. It is failed, so a firepower dice will roll out, and it is successful. So one of those 88 teams, that top team, is going to be removed. We're then going to see a Sherman 75 open up with 2 shots from his main cannon. He is going to need 6 due to stabilizers, and he is going to miss. And then we're going to see the M10s. They're going to open up, and they are firing with their main cannons as well. They need 5s, and they are actually going to get some hits here on that last 88. And the gun save is actually failed. And firepower test will be taken here, and they're going to be 1 successful. So that last 88 will be destroyed. And then this lone 76 is going to take shots at this Panzer IV unit. He needs 6s, and that is going to fail. And continuing action, the Sherman 75s are going to unload their machine guns on the Pack 40s. They need 5s with concealment, and they're going to get a ton of hits here. 6 hits go through, 2 assigned to the top Pack 40 there, 4-up gun saves taken. Both are going to be failed. So we're going to go to firepower here, needing a 6 on this blue dice, which fails, and an orange on 5 on the 50 cal, which is good. So that is going to be 1 Pack 40 stand removed. The next 2 here, 4-up gun saves, and we're going to have 1 fail. That's going to require a 5-up firepower test with the 50 cal. It is failed, so that gun will stand. And then we're going to have the next one take saves. He's going to pass easily. And then the last one is going to fail the gun save. And a 6-up firepower for this 30 cal will need to be made, and it has failed. And that will be all for the American turn as the 88s were taken out and pressure continued to be applied. We're going to see a remount attempt from the commander here. That is going to fail, so that tank will stay bailed out. We're then going to see some reserves rolled up, and the Germans will be bringing in 1 unit of reserve, and here come the big cats. The Tigers have made their way onto the battlefield. In other news, those Pak-40s did successfully unpin in the starting step. The Panzer IV unit is going to do a blitz move here, which is successful, so they will scoot around the corner and then move right into the shooting step. The Tigers are going to take aim at these Sherman 75s, and they are going to need 6s, long range and concealment, and they are going to get a hit, and this goes straight to firepower. It does fail, so that Sherman tank will be bailed out, lucky, taking a shot from a Tiger. Next up, the Panzer IV unit will attack as well. He needs 5s with concealment, and that is going to be a hit on that lead tank. A armor save will be taken and failed, and the firepower is going to be good, so that lead Sherman tank goes up in smoke to the Panzer IV unit. Then we're going to see the Pak-40s. They did rotate over. They're going to take shots with their moving rate of fire. They're going to get 1 hit on that 5 with concealment. That will be a failed armor save, and then a firepower dice will be rolled out and is successfully passed. Another Sherman goes up in smoke. So into the turn, I hope we got those rules right with the Pak-40s. I wasn't sure if they pivoted, if that counted as movement. We considered it to be so, but then even to allow them to fire because they're a gun team, a little confused on the rules there. But the Americans pushed up. They did lose some units there. The Tigers came onto the board, immediately made an impact. The Panzer IV taking down a Sherman 75, as did the Pak-40s. We're getting ready to wind it back up again as the Americans are up. The lone Sherman 75 is going to successfully remount his tank and then is going to pass a last stand check to stay in the fight. We are then going to move over to the M10s. Another cross check failed. The other M10s are going to go ahead and move up without him. Can't continue to sit back here while people get bogged down on the hedges. So the M10s are going to move up the field, try to take firing position on this Panzer IV here, and then we're going to see the 76s. Another cross check here is going to be passed this time, so they are going to move up. All 3 of these able to move at tactical speed, bringing guns to bear on this lone Panzer IV. We'll then see the commander take a cross check and pass. The 2IC will fail as they come back over the hedges on this side. And then we'll see the priests make a move up. They are moving at tactical speed to try to get some fire down on the Pak-40s in the crop fields in the distance. They will need 7s to hit, however, when it becomes their turn to shoot. We're then going to see this last Sherman 75, who remounted, courageous, staying in the fight, move towards those Pak-40s, and that's when the shooting step will open up. Machine guns firing out, 2 from each, the 50 cals in orange, the 30 cals in blue. He's actually going to get 3 hits, needing 5s. Those are assigned. First gun save is good. Second gun save is good. And the third gun save is going to fail. There is no firepower here. They've moved, so they're out of their foxholes. That's going to be a stand taken down. Then these 3-inch tank destroyers take aim at the Panzer IV unit. They're going to get no hits, firing with all their shots, which were 8. And then we're going to see the priests lay down against the Pak-40s. They need 7s to hit, no hits taking place there. And then the M10s are going to open up on this Panzer IV unit, 3 shots because they moved. They do need 5s due to concealment. They are going to get a hit, and the Panzer IV needs a 6 in order to bounce the shot, or actually just to tie it. It's going to fail, and then the firepower will be good. So that Panzer IV is going up in smoke. The commander hops into the 2IC's tank, and the battle continues as we move over to the Germans, where they are going to roll up their reserves, and the last 2 Panzer units are going to make their way onto the field. 1 full-strength Panzer IV unit coming down the right flank, and the other Panzer IV unit will enter the battlefield coming down the left flank and moving at a dash speed to try to get up to protect the objectives. We'll then see the commander make a move to take some cover behind this tree and reposition, and then we will see the Tiger tanks continue to move down the road at tactical speed and getting ready to open fire, which will bring the movement step to an end, shooting step coming up. Up first will be the Panzer IV units. They will take aim at the Sherman 76s. They will need fives here, firing at their moving rate of fire with their main cannon. All shots are going to miss. The Tiger tanks are then going to split fire. One is going to fire down at the priest, long range and concealment. He will need sixes. That shot is going to miss. The other one will fire at the commander, and he needs sixes as well and will miss. The lone Panzer IV HQ will take shots at the Sherman HQ here, also needing sixes due to range and concealment. Shot will miss. And then we'll flip over to these Pack 40s. They are going to take shots at this Sherman tank in the front, and they need fives to hit through the concealment. They will get a hit here, and that's going to be assigned. An armor save is taken. It will be failed. A firepower test is taken, and it looks like that tank is going to be bailed out due to a failed firepower. And that is going to bring us to the end of the German turn. So into turn 4 recap, the Americans continue to push up the board, but they have been getting bogged down by the hedges and just overall not using speed to their advantage. The firepower has arrived for the Germans as both the Panzer IV units and the Tigers are on the board. So I think it's going to be very difficult for the Americans to pull out a win, but we're going to continue on going into turn 5. The Americans are up. The Sherman 75 will attempt to remount here and fail, and then he will also fail a last stand test, so that 75 is out. We will then see the M10s try to blitz. They will fail. The M10 also gets bogged down on the hedges again. They're going to go ahead and move here, but they will take a penalty to their hit rolls when firing at these Panzer IVs that they're lining up to shoot. We'll then see the command team pass a blitz move, and then the 2IC is going to take a cross check, having to re-roll that cocked dice there, and he's going to fail. So he's going to stay bogged down here. They will take this blitz move just to shuffle that tank over, and then we are going to move into the shooting step where the priests are going to draw a line of sight to the Pack 40s. The artillery will line up and attempt to range in, needing fours due to terrain. They fail on the first, they fail on the second, and they do eventually range in on their third attempt. No time on target taking place here. The first shell will miss, as will the second. They needed sixes here in order to hit due to ranging in on the third attempt. The 76s will then take shots at the Panzer IV unit. They get 2 shots each, but they need sixes due to stabilizers. The Panzer IV getting a +1 armor for the range, and it will equal. So firepower test will be taken and succeed, so a tank will be bailed out. We'll then see the M10s take aim at that same Panzer IV unit. They're firing at their moving rate of fire, so the shots ring out. They need fives to hit here. There will be one hit that goes through. The armor save is failed, and the firepower dice is going to be successful, so one tank will be destroyed. And then we'll see the HQ Sherman 75 take aim at the commander Panzer IV, and he will not get any hits. The 3-inch tank destroyer platoon will then take shots at the same target. They roll out needing sixes due to range and concealment. And getting +1 armor due to range, the shot will bounce. The Panzer IV is just fine, and that is going to conclude the American turn. Moving over to the Germans, we are going to see a remount attempt, which will be successful on the Panzer IVs. The Tigers are then going to move up the road at tactical speed and get ready to lay down some fire. The other Panzer IV unit on the left flank, they are going to make a move at tactical speed onto the hill and get ready to put shots down on either those M10s or the Sherman 76s, leaving a little gap here so that back tank can fire. And then we are going to see the Pack 40s dig in successfully. In the shooting step, the Panzer IVs on the right flank line up shots at the 76s, firing at their halted rate of fire, needing fives for range. They are going to get a hit that goes through. An armor save will be taken and failed, even getting the +1 armor, and firepower dice will be rolled out, and it is successful. That is going to be a destroyed Sherman 76. The Tiger tanks are up next with their moving rate of fire, targeting the side armor of these M10s, and they're only going to get 1 shot each. They do need fives coming through concealment over this wall, and they are going to get a hit. This is going to go straight to firepower and annihilate one of those M10s. Next up, the commander is going to take a shot through the gap of the Tigers at the Sherman 75 HQ unit. 2 shots, he's going to miss. The Panzer IV unit that came around from the left flank and set up on the hill, now taking shots at the M10s with their moving rate of fire. They are going to miss. And then the Pack 40s are going to fire downrange at the priests, needing 6s with range and concealment, and no hits there. And that is going to bring us to the end of turn 5. So the Americans, once again, they took some casualties here. Sherman 76 went up in smoke and M10 was lost. The formation is still in good spirits. They still have the 76s that are 2 tanks remaining, as well as the HQ. But again, time is not on their side as we move into the final turn of this game. And to start, the Americans will take a cross-check here, and we'll do a tactical move. Moving this commander tank, this is officially going to put him within 8 inches of the objective. So if the Americans can somehow get the Germans off, they will. This game will not be over. Next up, we're going to see this M10 again fail his 6th straight cross-check. The rest of the M10s are going to go ahead and go forward at tactical speed, and they are going to look to eye up those Panzer IVs that are straight ahead of them now in short range. Next up, the 76s are going to move up as well, getting into short range with their 76mm cannons. And we're going to go right into the shooting step as the priests are going to repeat bombardment onto the Pack 40s. Needing 4s to hit here, they will get a hit, and they will get a miss on 1, so hits are assigned. That will be a gun save that is made. The next one will fail the gun save, and then the firepower is good, so it will be removed. Next up, the M10s are going to fire at the Panzer IV unit at their moving rate of fire. 2 shots going out. They need straight up 4s on these. They do get 1 hit that's going to go through. It is going to be a straight up 6-up save that would be required. It is going to be failed, and then the firepower is failed. One of those Panzer IVs bailed out. The 76s will also take aim at them, shooting through the gaps here, and they need 5s with stabilizers. They're going to get 2 hits here, assigning those out. No +1 for long distance, so again, needing 6s here. That is going to be a fail. The firepower is good. 1 destroyed Panzer. The next one rolls out. It also fails, and the firepower is good. 2 destroyed Panzers and 1 bailed out. So the American tank team's finally getting some work put in. Next up, we'll see the 3-inch tank destroyers. They're going to take a long shot down at the Tigers, needing 6s with range and concealment, and unloading all of those shots. They are going to get a hit here. The Tiger's going to have a 10-up base armor. He is actually going to fail that on a 1, anti-tank of 12, and the firepower is good. That is going to be a Tiger destroyed. And with so much carnage on the battlefield, we're running out of smoke markers. Next up, one of the HQ Sherman tanks is going to fire at the Pack 40s with his machine guns, the 250 cals in orange, the 30 cals in blue, needing 5s to hit through concealment. He is going to get a hit. Going to go ahead and use that lucky reroll here. Been holding on to that the entire game. It is going to fail. The gun save of a 4-up will be made. That Pack 40 is just fine. They are pinned down from the artillery previously. The next Sherman 75 is going to shoot at the Commander Panzer IV, and he is going to get 2 shots and miss those with stabilizers. End of turn for the Americans. We'll move over to the Germans, and the Tiger tanks will take a last stand test and fail on a 1, but they are millimeters within command reroll distance of the HQ. They will pass on that 2 with Tiger Ace. The remount attempt will fail from this Panzer IV unit. Their last stand test is passed, however, so they stay on the field. The Pack 40 does not unpin, but we're going to take these Panzers. They're going to take shots into that 75mm HQ Sherman. They are going to get a hit on that 6, needing 5s through concealment. We do take an armor save here, which fails, and then the firepower test is going to roll out, and it's going to be a cocked eye as it lands on top of the token here. Re-rolling that out, and it is going to be successful, and that is going to bring our game to a close. It is going to be a German victory today. Had that 75mm Sherman not been destroyed at the end, the Americans would have gotten an extra turn, but they still had the Tiger to shoot. The Pack 40 was going to be able to shoot, although at moving rate of fire. The game, in case they didn't destroy him, the game was still going to be up in the air at that point. But I think for the Americans, taking out that full unit of Panzers was going to be a tall task. I think the Americans underestimated how important speed was in this scenario and getting up the board quickly. It did not help that they got bogged down on so many of the hedges. I had one M10 that was bogged down for all 6 turns. And that's kind of unfortunate, but, you know, it kind of comes with the territory in playing this game. You have to adapt your tactics and hope to get some luckier dice rolls. So really enjoyed this battle report. What a great game between these two. If you liked it, be sure you leave a thumbs up for more Flames of War content. Be sure to let us know if we missed anything in the comments below. Again, thanks so much for your support. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.